We need to send the message to the rest of Canada on the huge innovations brought to emission control. I work in oil and gas, and I'm hugely proud of our carbon capture innovations by the big three in Suncor, Shell, and Syncrude. Right on, Jason, totally agree. I cannot understand why we, by that I mean the government of Alberta, the energy industry, and frankly the rest of us, have been so passive in this campaign by environmental organizations to tarnish the reputation of Alberta's oil and gas sector. We have the highest environmental, human rights, and labor standards of any major oil and gas producer in the world. We should be damn proud of that fact, and we should celebrate it a lot more. We also, the oil and gas sector in Canada, as you point out, Jason, has the biggest investments in research and development in science and technology of any industry in the country, spending billions of dollars a year, constantly shrinking the environmental footprint and the carbon and greenhouse gas emissions from Canadian oil and gas, including the oil sands. Massive, constant improvements in technology, shrinking the carbon intensity of our industry. And there are, of course, heavy crude oil fields around the world, from the Los Angeles reservoir to some of the Venezuelan oil to some Nigerian oil, with a higher carbon footprint than the bitumen that we develop in the Alberta oil sands. These are facts that are not well known because we've had 15 years of foreign-funded organizations creating the impression that Alberta's energy industry is the moral equivalent of big tobacco or something. And it's time that we fought back. But when we have a premier like Ms. Notley, who says that Alberta is the embarrassing cousin because of our oil and gas industry, that hardly reflects a pride in the technology that you're talking about. So Jason, I totally agree with you. We need an Alberta government that is proud and loud and defending and advocating for this industry, because here's the choice we have. When Justin Trudeau said a few months back that he wants to, quote, phase out the Alberta oil sands, he didn't say phase out oil and gas, because that's not realistic. Every major projection shows growing demand for hydrocarbons, for oil and gas, at least through the next 25 years. If that is the case, the question is then, who will supply that demand? Will it be Canada with an increase in our production and export of oil and gas? Or will we leave those global markets to kleptocracies, dictatorships, theocracies, to Iran, to Venezuela, to Qatar? Will we leave it to those regimes that stone women and execute gays and pollute the environment and imprison their opposition? Will we leave it to those regimes to fill the growing projected global demand for oil and gas? Or will we, as Canada, as the most ethical developer of major oil and gas reserves in the world, will we fill more of that demand? The world needs more Canada displacing some of these conflict regimes as a major source for hydrocarbons in the world. A moral case that we have not made politically.